What's going on, ladies and gents? My name is Ruger, and today I got a little bit of a different video for you. This is actually going to be a guide on how I made it from silver to platinum ranking in Overwatch Competitive in one season. Now, I know for some people that may not be too impressive here, but I have been playing Overwatch for a little bit now on PC, and I have been pretty much stuck in silver for probably the past 3 or 4 seasons, and I haven't really been able to get out. I've kind of teetered up to the bottom of gold and then kind of fell back down to silver and kind of was stuck in the elo hell. And I kind of changed up the way I was doing it here on this season, season 11 currently, and I made the climb from pretty much mid-silver into platinum as I just got last night. And I kind of want to share how I did it, and maybe I can give a little bit of information to some people that may be in the same similar situation. It may help you climb out as well. So for the past few weeks, I have been playing Overwatch on stream here on the channel. Usually probably 3 or 4 nights a week lately. It's usually been late nights, so if you want to check out any of the past broadcasts, some of them are public, some of them are not. Some of them I keep them unlisted because, like I said, they're usually pretty late at night. Sometimes I'm pretty tired. It's not very entertaining. And anything like that, I don't really feel to make it public. But there are a few of them that I did make public if anyone wants to go back to watch any of it just to see, because sometimes seeing it's a little better than just someone explaining it. But the gameplay playing right here was a game last night from stream. That's why the quality is a little bit lower. I can't quite stream at a real crisp 1080p like my recorded videos. But this was actually the match where I actually got into platinum. So we ended up winning this game. It was a pretty easy steamroll, honestly. And this is how we got into platinum. But what I want to talk about today is there's 5 things that I decided to do that, of course, many people have said to do, and this is what got me into silver. Now, there's a bunch of guides, how to rank up, stuff like that, and some of it is correct, but some of it's not. And the reason for that is some things that you can do will only help you grow to certain tiers. And what I mean by that is there's some things that, a basic guide video will tell you to do that, you may already be doing. For example, if you're a bronze player, you're at the lowest tier in the game, pretty much anything that they tell you obviously will help you grow up the tiers. Now, if you're already in a higher tier like platinum or diamond, all the basic stuff, you're pretty much already doing it. And there's just usually 1 or 2 little niche things that you need to change or improve in your gameplay that'll get you up there. So it's one of those things where one guide isn't for everybody. There's guides for getting out of the low tiers, there's guides for getting out of the mid tiers, and there's guides, of course, for making it to the high tiers like Masters or GM. So this video is going to focus on what I believe you need to do in order to get from a lower tier like silver or maybe even bronze up to platinum like I did. Now, the first thing, this is going to be the very simple thing that every video you can ever think of will tell you, and that's going to be communication. You have to communicate with your team. I realize that some people don't want to talk to their teammates, or sometimes you just have really toxic teammates, or some people just they just are a little shyer and they don't really want to talk and communicate with a bunch of people online that they don't know. They only like to talk online with their friends. That's gonna put you at a disadvantage. Just communicating some basic things. You don't have to sit there and have a full-on conversation with your teammates, but just some basic call-outs, anything like that can make a huge difference. For example, if you're in the middle of a fight and you get low on health, of course you could spam the X button and then it'll say I need healing or whatever you may have it bound to. But differently, just saying, hey, I need help, heal me, res me mercy, something like that is going to be a lot more effective. People are going to hear it. They're going to see you pop up in the top left corner. They're going to see, okay, our Reinhardt, because that's the character you're playing at that time. Reinhardt, he needs healing. Where's the Reinhardt? Let me heal him. When you spam X, of course, it notifies them, but things are a lot different when they hear it from a person playing, especially if you're like, hey, I'm low, I need heals, help me. That's going to make a big difference. Or just some simple call outs like, oh, the Sombra or the Reaper, they're flanking behind us. Or the Ryan's going to have ult this one, watch out, he's going to have shatter. Stuff like that. Calling out little things like that, just little bursts of information throughout the game makes a tremendous difference. And the second thing's a pretty big one. This is a specific thing that you don't see in higher tiers majority of the time. That's why this particular guide, is going to work better for people in lower tiers, because usually people in higher tiers don't have this issue, and that's going to be people staggering in. And what I mean by that is, say you're in the middle of a team fight, you're on defense, like this payload push in the video playing right now, and the team fight initiates and you're one of the first ones to die, okay, and you're dead, you're sitting your respawn timer, and by the time you respawn, your team loses 2 or 3 more teammates, so you only have 2 teammates on the point. You're coming out of spawn, you make it about halfway to spawn, one of them goes down, there's only 1 teammate up. Now a lot of people in lower tiers, they're just going to run in there, try to defend the payload, try to time stall, whatever that may be. But here's the issue is, maybe during that team fight, you have 1 teammate up on the payload at that point, and the other team, let's say they have 5 up. You running in there is just going to mean that you're going to die, because during that team fight, it's a 5v2. By the time you make it there, you and your teammate are outnumbered. The rest of your team maybe is on a respawn timer, or maybe they just respawned and they're in the spawn. That's so much happens in low tiers like silver and gold like that, is so many people stagger. Simply, if you lose the team fight, sit in the spawn, wait for your other teammates that have also died to die and respawn, wait for them for a regroup, and if you have 1 or 2 teammates that are still on the payload, communicate in the mic, tell them to back off, tell them to get out of there, get for the regroup. That way you can go and initiate another team fight with a full 6v6. Now the third thing is a little bit unpopular opinion when it comes to most guides on how to rank up, and that's going to be to fill whatever your team needs. Now if you need another healer, like maybe you other 5 people have already picked and there's only 1 healer, you should probably pick another healer, even if you're like a DPS main, because you may have had 2 or 3 people auto lock DPS. Adding a 4th DPS is not going to help the team. Now a lot of people don't like to switch. A lot of people want to play what they want to play. They don't care if they win or lose. They just want to play the characters they want to play. Those are people who don't want to win. Don't let that discourage you from actually trying to win the game. So just fill whatever your team needs. Even though, if you have to play healer and you're not a great healer, you picking that healer and just doing, an okay job at healing is going to be better than adding a 3rd or 4th DPS to the team, because so many people will just auto lock damage characters, because that may be all they know how to play, or maybe that's just what they want to play and they don't care about the team, they don't care about winning. So you have to take it upon yourself to play what the team needs to make sure you have the best comp possible to get the highest chance of winning. The next thing is something that never seems to happen in the lower tiers, and that is to switch your character if you are being countered, or switch to a character to counter someone on the enemy team. There's been so many games I've had where we've had a Genji on our team and the other team may have a Winston or a Bridget, or most of the time both, and the Genji just cannot do anything because he's getting hard countered, but yet he refuses to switch. So he just keeps dying, respawning, dying, respawning, dying, when he could have easily switched to another DPS that isn't hard countered by those characters and could have done more work to help win the team fight. So always switch if you're being hard countered by the other team. But also, if the other team is playing and they have a specific character that's doing a lot of work or maybe carrying the game for them, then switch to a character you think that will counter it, or ask one of your teammates to do it. For example, one thing that happens in this tier is Pharah is a very big threat in lower tiers. That's mostly because a lot of the lower tier players don't have the accuracy or the positioning to handle a Pharah very well. So if you're playing DPS and they have a Pharah and they're kind of putting work on their team, but you're playing maybe a Tracer and your other DPS is a Junkrat, obviously you probably need to switch to something like a Hanzo or a Soldier or a McCree or maybe even a Widow or something like that that can handle the Pharah. Or maybe if you have 2 tanks, maybe you have a Zarya and a Reinhardt, maybe get one of them to switch to a Diva to help counter the Pharah. So always make sure that you're not being countered, and if you need to counter something on the enemy team, make sure you switch, or ask someone who's playing the role that you think the best character to counter them would be, ask them to switch. That way you're not sitting there just constantly losing team fights over and over because you're either being countered or you can't counter the enemy team. And the last thing I want to go over is a little thing that helped me win my climb, and that is duo queuing. I would always recommend a queue with one other person because it gives you the opportunity to do certain things that you wouldn't be able to do if you were solo queuing. Now, me and my buddy Dylan would duo queue through most of my climb, and we would do certain things like play characters that we knew could combo very well together, whether it be combo ultimates or just combo, the regular gameplay. And of course, we would always fill if needed, just because you can't always tell your other teammates what to play or things like that. So like if you saw in this game, I played Bridget and he played Reinhardt. They're a good combo together. The shield bash to charge, shield bash to hit, things like that. I can heal him because I'm sitting there in the front line with him fighting, constantly giving heals, and my E ability cooldown constantly keeping him up. Or you can combo stuff like a Zarya and a Pharah, or a Zarya and a Hanzo, where you can combo ultimates. So it's always good if you're duo queuing to make sure that you're playing characters that really combo well with each other and really complement each other to help you win your games. Now, I hope these steps come helpful to you, especially if you're in a low tier trying to make your way up to higher tiers. Like I said, it's not always about your mechanical skill like aim and stuff like that. Now, it does help, and you eventually will get better with it when you're playing against tougher opponents. But some of the major things that'll help you climb more is just realizing what your team needs and what characters to play and certain things like that. Teamwork it's a team-based game, and if you don't play as a team and you don't do what the team needs, you're not going to have a high chance of winning. So this was the game that got me into Platinum. Like I said, I made it from Silver to Platinum in one season. The season's, I'd say, about halfway over, I think, at this point. So I got more to climb. If I'm lucky, I might even make it a Diamond. You know what? And if I make it to Diamond, I'll make another guide based off that. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you find it helpful in some way. Remember, we do stream Overwatch here usually late at night, 3 or 4 nights a week, not really on a set schedule. But if you like the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day.